So I'm back to open the other Magic the Gathering Jumpstart booster pack. So this one happens to be Forest, and the theme looks to be Garruck, which I always found some of his planeswalkers were interesting. So because of the theme, the first card was the Garrick Planeswalker. This one happens to be Garrick Unleashed. It starts with 4 loyalty counters on it. The first ability is a +1. Up to 1 target creature gets +3/+3 and gains trample until end of turn. The second ability is a -2. Create a 3/3 green creature token. Then, if an opponent controls more creatures than you, put a loyalty counter on Garrick Unleashed. And the final or ultimate ability is a -7. You get an emblem with, at the beginning of your end step, you may search your library for a creature card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. So if you're able to get enough loyalty counters on Garrick, you get an emblem that lets you get a creature from your library every turn, basically. So the mana cost for Garrick Unleashed was 2 and 2 Forest. The next card is Garrix Harbinger. It's a 4/3 beast that costs 1 and 2 Forest. It has hexproof from black. Whenever Garrix Harbinger deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, look at that many cards from the top of your library. You may reveal a creature card or a Garrick Planeswalker card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So, again, something to search for cards, given it's from the top of your library, but you still have a chance to get something. The next is Affectionate Indra. It's a 4/4 beast for 5 in a forest. When Affectionate Indra enters the battlefield, you may have it fight target creature you don't control. So basically each deals damage equal to its power to the other. Next we have Brush Strider. It's a 3/1 beast for 1 in a forest, and it has vigilance. Then we have Hunter's Insight. It's an instant for 2 in a forest. Choose target creature you control. Whenever that creature deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker this turn, draw that many cards. So another card to kind of get more stuff in your hand. Then we have Garrix Uprising. It's an enchantment that costs 2 in a forest. When Garrix Uprising enters the battlefield, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. Creatures you control have trample. Whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. So another card to draw you cards, plus it gives your creature's trample, which seems like a lot of Garrick Planewalkers and Garrick cards seem to deal around trample, so that's always fun. Next is Hunter's Edge. It's a sorcery for 3 in a forest. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Then that creature deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. So, unlike the creature earlier that was fighting a creature when it enters the battlefield, this one deals damage to the opponent, but the opponent doesn't deal damage back. So, if you could deal damage enough to deal lethal damage to a creature, but not have your creature die because of how powerful your opponent's creature is, this would be the better card because you're not receiving damage back. Only downside is it's a sorcery, so you unless you have something to play sorcery cards on your opponent's turn, you're only doing it on your turn. Next we have Ranger's Guile. It's an instant for just a single forest. Target creature you control gains +1/+1 and gains hexproof until end of turn. Next we have Rumbling Boluth. It's a 4/4 beast for 2 and 2 forests, and it doesn't have any abilities, it just has the flavor text. Next we have a Orazaka Frillback. It's a 4/2 dinosaur for 2 in a forest, and obviously the picture makes it look like a dinosaur or some kind of a big lizard, obviously. Again, this creature doesn't have any abilities, just some flavor text. And like the other Jumpstart packs, it has a non-basic land that goes with the color theme. So Thriving Grove enters the battlefield tapped. As Thriving Grove enters the battlefield, choose a color other than green. You can tap it to add a forest or 1 mana of the chosen color. And we have Garrix Gorehorn. Almost looks like some kind of elephant or something with a really odd face. It's a 7/3 beast for 4 in a forest, and it's another creature that, no abilities, just flavor text, so a little bit boring, but not every creature will have abilities. Next we have Drowsing Tyranidon. It's a 3/3 dinosaur for 1 in the forest. It has Defender. As long as you control a creature with power 4 or greater, Drowsing Tyranidon can attack as though it didn't have Defender. Then we had the non-basic lands. We actually had one that was more of a unique forest, and then more just generic basic lands or forest. So hopefully you found this interesting and keep checking back for new and different videos.